Good afternoon, everyone. We warmly welcome you all to join our West Garden Elegance gathering today. This morning, we held a Buddhist music concert and also had a mindful lunch. This afternoon, we'll host a Chan tea ceremony and other activities like sutra copying. The entire West Garden Elegance gathering is centered on Buddhist culture. That is, Chan culture as its theme. This morning, while listening to the music concert, I wonder if any of you noticed there was one word on the concert banner. This word is awakening. I think many people might find the concept of Chan mysterious. We are curious about it and also yearn for it. So, what exactly is Chan? What is the essence of Chan? I want to tell everyone that the essence of Chan is awakening. It's our awakened mind. The essence of Chan is the essence of Buddha. Buddha is the enlightened one. We know that Dharma comes from Buddha. Buddhists learn from Buddha. The highest goal of practice is to become a Buddha. So, becoming a Buddha means we must complete the transformation of our lives from delusion to awakening. So, the Dharma is a path of awakening. This path is to help us break free from the confusion of life. In the Buddhist teachings, we know that the culture of Buddhism is profound and vast. Just in the Chinese Buddhism, the Tripitaka has tens of thousands of volumes. There are also Theravada and Tibetan Buddhism. Each system of Buddhism has many sects. For instance, Chinese Buddhism has 8 schools: Pure Land, Chan, Yogacara, Tiantai, Huayan, Vinaya, Esoteric, etc. Yet, for the core thought of the Buddha's teachings, if we describe it with one word, it's awakening. This is the core spirit of the Dharma. In the Lotus Sutra, it says, the Buddhas, the world-honored ones, appear in the world for one great cause. It means that the Buddha came to this world to do mainly one thing. What's this thing? It's to help sentient beings understand and realize the Buddha's insight. It's to help each of us unlock the wisdom of the Buddha. Where is the wisdom of Buddha? It's in the mind of every one of us. That is to say, everyone has the Buddha nature and can become a Buddha. But then, why are we still sentient beings? Why aren't we already Buddhas? What's the key difference? The key lies in delusion, in being confused. So in Buddhism, if we use 2 words to summarize the essentials of Buddhism, or to describe the difference between a Buddha and a sentient being, their delusion and awakening. The Platform Sutra of the 6th Patriarch says, the previous thought of delusion is a sentient being. The next thought of awakening is a Buddha. When you are in a state of delusion, you are an ordinary being. When you break free from delusion and unlock the wisdom of awakening, you're a Buddha. So, in contrast to the word awakening, there's a state of delusion. For all sentient beings, the greatest characteristic of our personality is delusion. Because of delusion, in each of our lives, We have many confusions, such as we don't know where we come from or where we go after death. We don't know who we are, and we don't know the meaning of life. Because of delusion, it causes misconceptions and problematic views. Almost none of us can truly see ourselves clearly. Meanwhile, we also lack the ability to see the truth of the world. So studying Buddhism is primarily to help us solve the misconceptions and problematic views. We need to embrace a culture of awakening and wisdom so that we can establish the correct view of life. Only then can we see the truth of life. This way, we can find a right path of life, a bright and right path. Otherwise, we're like blind people riding blind horses, as we can't see the future clearly, nor can we see our own lives clearly. We can only follow our feelings, but our feelings are confused and chaotic. Because of delusion, it makes everyone's life very chaotic in each of our lives. Because we lack great wisdom in life, we form many wrong views of life. Meanwhile, these views would create many negative emotions in our mind. Everyone falls into these bad emotions and feelings. These emotions and wrong views often make our lives a mess. We want to get out of this emotional quagmire, but we always feel powerless to do so. What's the meaning of life? Where is the direction of life? How can a person get rid of the negative emotions and afflictions in themselves? Does a person have the ability to solve their own negative emotions and afflictions? When we talk about the wisdom of Chan and awakening, in fact, it tells us that everyone, every living being, has the ability of self-rescue and also can solve their own afflictions. Everyone is also their own best doctor. Life has the ability to save itself because each of us has an awakened mind. Many of us, especially those engaged in the arts, tend to have deeper reflections on life than others. But through that deep reflection, it is easy to realize the illusory nature of life and even the absurdity of life. When we deny the absurdity of life, where is the way out for our lives? In this situation, if we can't find the way out, we would be very painful. So, the wisdom of Chan not only helps us see clearly the truth of life or its absurdity, but also guides us to find a way out of life's suffering. When our lives are filled with positive energy, the works we create not only allow ourselves to grow, but also illuminate this society with a light of awakening, thus truly benefiting more people, instead of leading more people into negative emotions. This kind of art is called awakening art. So, as for our lives, we need to have views and understanding of awakening. In the art world, we need an awakening art. For ordinary people, we need to live a life of awakening, a life of wisdom. So today, when we talk about Chan in real life, we want to help everyone understand the wisdom of Chan and its importance to our real life. It's actually a big question. So today, I will focus on Chan's impact on our real life from the following aspects. First of all, I want to share with everyone that Chan can help us return to the original simplicity. For human beings, especially in today's world, what's the biggest problem now? I believe that with the development of material wealth, humanity is becoming more and more lost. In other words, people can no longer find themselves, or they have lost themselves. For every one of us, this is the biggest mistake in our lives, and it is the root cause of all our suffering. We don't understand ourselves. Knowing oneself has always been a major issue in religions and philosophies throughout history and around the world. A famous saying in Western philosophy is, know yourself. Western philosophers like Nietzsche have also said, the strangest, the least understood, and the most distant from oneself is oneself. Especially in today's world, people are desperately pursuing external things. In the process of this pursuit, we become increasingly distant from ourselves. How many material possessions does one truly need to live? Is there a definite answer to this question? Actually, no. In the past, we just had a few pieces of clothing and a few pairs of shoes. Now, people easily have dozens or even hundreds of pairs. Yet, they still keep buying more. These daily products are also constantly being updated. Our demands are continuously increasing. The key is that people now lack concentration. Without concentration, we can't abide in the present moment. Our mind is always reaching outwards, grasping at external things. So, we can't resist temptation. Through various advertisements, businesses continuously create temptations. In this process, our desires are formed. Afterwards, we get used to having these desires and become dependent on them. This way, our dependence on the external world keeps building up. So this kind of dependence and desires actually come at a cost. Our desires require nature to bear the cost. As human desires grow, we have to keep asking more from nature. This has greatly aggravated the ecological issues across our entire natural world. We have already seen it. Now the climate is unpredictable. It's indeed related to our actions toward nature, such as endless exploitation, resource plundering, and damage to the ecological environment. This is closely related. At the same time, we rely more and more on our external environment. On one hand, this kind of reliance demands that we work hard and bear its costs. At the same time, any form of reliance inevitably brings us suffering. When everything we rely on is changing, that is when our suffering arises. The wisdom of the Dharma teaches us to seek from within. Buddhism believes that each of our lives is self-sufficient. What does it mean? It means that, in reality, our lives don't require much for us to live. We can live a very simple life, and we can still live well. But today, we rely too heavily on the external environment and place excessive demands on it. Have we realized that we have already lost the ability to live a simple life? We must have a lot of wealth to feel satisfied. We even need it to feel happy. But now, are we really living happily? Although we're wealthy, as our desires increase, the cost of our happiness becomes higher. That is, in the past, With simple living conditions, we could easily be happy and satisfied. But we now have too many desires. Even if we have a lot of wealth, we still find it hard to be happy and satisfied. We have lost the ability to live a simple life. Many rural people move to the cities. But people living in cities often find the air polluted and the traffic congested. Some can't bear it, so they move to the countryside. After staying a few days, they find life there is also unbearable. So, the wisdom of Chan is to help us develop the ability within ourselves to be self-sufficient. We don't need to seek external reliance. When we read the biographies of ancient sages, we see many great masters living by the water and in the forest. They own almost nothing, yet they don't feel a need for anything. I think they are the wealthiest. In contrast, people nowadays have very abundant material conditions, but deep down, we still carry a profound sense of scarcity. So, this is not true wealth. True wealth lies in discovering the treasures within our lives. We must lessen our dependence on the external material world and starve our greed and desires. The more greed and desires we have, the more we feel a sense of scarcity. In contrast, the less greed and desires we have, the easier for us to be content and happy. As the ancients said, contentment brings constant happiness. So the wisdom of Chan first helps us learn to live a simple and natural life. In fact, a simple and natural life is the healthiest life. It means we need to be able to settle in the awakening within our mind. We need to find our awakened mind. Abiding in the awakened present, we won't feel lacking in anything. If we keep chasing externally, in the process of chasing, we continuously cultivate greed and desires in our mind. Even if we possess more wealth, we won't feel wealthy. Instead, our mind remains full of scarcity. So, this is the first point I want to share with you. The second point is that the wisdom of Chan could enable us a relaxed and slow-paced life. As our desires for the external world grow, our lives become busier. A defining characteristic of contemporary life is this incessant busyness, leaving us occupied from dawn till dusk. Our mind simply can't rest or calm down. Even if our body is resting, our mind is still active, unable to settle. This busyness is leaving people nowadays feeling exhausted, which has become a hallmark of modern life. Why do we feel so tired? The reason is that we don't have the ability to rest. We have become so accustomed to being busy that it has turned into our default state. Unlike people in the past, their living conditions were simpler, with very few entertainment. Besides daily work, we could sit and relax, enjoy the moon at night, and bask in the sun during the day. We can also do some simple tasks, like weaving a basket or knitting a sweater. These activities, though physical, could be a form of rest, as their motions are simple, requiring little mental strain. Unlike today's distractions, phones, computers, and games, which tire both the body and the mind, such tasks in the past were straightforward and grounding. By focusing on these simple crafts, people not only move their bodies, but also gave their minds a chance to rest. If the body is too tired, then it's good to sleep. Sleep for a while, so the body will recover. Our body and mind are inherently a very intricate system, and they naturally have self-healing functions. The traditional Chinese medicine is to help us restore the body's immunity and healing ability. Western medicine treats symptoms, not the root. There is a difference here. Our mind is the same. When our mind calms down, many negative emotions in our mind can also be healed, and the mind returns to a natural state. When the mind is twisted, many forms of mental illness can arise. But as the mind begins to relax and return to its natural, balanced state, these disturbances often begin to heal on their own. Both the body and mind have the innate capacity to recover. But to activate this healing power, we need rest. Rest is essential for restoring the health of both body and mind. Many of us today are not healthy because we don't know how to rest. I believe that in the future, a key indicator of whether someone is truly happy or healthy may be whether they truly know how to rest. You can only be truly healthy if you know how to rest. Our inability to rest leaves us feeling exhausted. It's this lack of rest that gives rise to many of the physical and mental challenges we face today. Endless busyness not only wears us out, it also causes us to lose touch with ourselves. The character for busy in Chinese consists of mind and death. It means your mind is lost, gone. For each of us, our mind is the source of wisdom and also the root of afflictions. Let's think about it. When are we most inspired? When are we most creative? If a person is busy all day long with a restless mind, can this person be inspired? Can this person be creative? It's actually not easy, because when we're busy, our minds get caught up in chasing external circumstances. When we're chasing these external things like fame, fortune, status, and career, in the process of chasing, our mind forms corresponding greed and emotions related to the greed. Our minds become entangled in them. When this happens, our inner eye of wisdom is obscured, preventing us from having inspiration and creativity. So, busyness can lead to such a result. It also makes us forget the meaning of life. Many people are busy all day long. What will it eventually lead to? The specifics of their busyness become irrelevant. They need to be busy out of habit, seeking something to occupy themselves so their minds feel at ease. He has no ability to enjoy leisure. He's lost the ability to relax. So many of us, many people today, face this problem. We need to keep ourselves busy every day. We rarely think about why we're busy. We seldom consider this. Why is this? Because we've become habitually busy. We're busy for the sake of being busy, not for any specific reason. That is, the reason becomes irrelevant. Being busy every day has cost us the ability to relax. We become so busy every day that we lose the ability to confront ourselves, diminishing our capacity for solitude. We can't enjoy solitude. What does it mean? solitude is not just being alone physically. Nowadays, we have many homebodies. They're often alone, yet they can be very busy by themselves when connected with the whole world. True solitude is about doing nothing for nothing. When you are constantly busy with many things, it's actually not true solitude. True solitude is learning to face yourself. Only when you learn to face yourself can you truly connect with yourself. Only then can you face and meet your true self. Not the version of you that you currently imagine. Everyone is self-centered. What you think of yourself is not your true self. It's a substitute, it's a diluted self, it's a root of afflictions for you all day long. So, only when you truly face yourself can you calm yourself down. Let your mind relax and stop chasing external things. Only then can you truly connect with yourself. Find your true self and connect with the original you. So, meditation is actually to help you calm down, to find the unseen you and understand the true nature of your life. When we talk about the wisdom of Chan, especially for us busy people now, it can help us bring our mind back to the present moment. What's the present moment? As ordinary people, we are always either living in the past or in the future. We rarely live in the present moment. Present moment has two types, a relative present moment and an absolute present moment. Relative present moment means that when we are eating, we focus on eating and settle our mind in eating. This noon, we learned how to eat in this way. We truly tasted the flavor of the dishes. We truly felt the entire process of eating. For walking, we are rarely aware of us walking as well. When walking, we're thinking about other things. Now, we're learning how to walk with mindfulness. Lift one foot, put it down. Lift the other, and put it down again. When we do this walking meditation, we bring our mind back to the present moment. Isn't society now advocating for a slow life? Because nowadays, our way of living is getting faster and faster. Each of us lives in our own illusions and imaginations. We always ignore what we already have and pursue what we don't have. Why do people now have more and more stuff? We keep buying things, tossing them aside without even using them. Yet, we still keep buying. This shows our inability to live in the present moment. We're always being led by various external temptations. So, the wisdom of Chan is to help us bring our mind back to the present moment and cultivate our mind through this training of concentration, making our mind pure. When our mind becomes pure, the wisdom of awakening within us will emerge. When our mind is too complicated, it easily gets lost in emotions, causing us to lose ourselves. So, a simple life helps us develop the inner awakened mind. Besides a simple life, meditation can also help us acquire the ability to rest. Why can't we calm our mind? Why are we unable to rest? Why? The reason is that our mental activities are turbulent, just like the sea. The various temptations in our society now are like storms and gales. Our minds are as turbulent as the sea. Where do we live? We may think we all live in the real world. Actually, each of us lives in our own mental activities. For example, the things we want or don't want, who tells you that? It's your thoughts that guide you. Who do you like or dislike? Who makes that decision? It's your thoughts, your emotions, your daily choices, your likes and dislikes, your judgments. They all come from your mind. Different thoughts in your mind are influencing your actions. These thoughts are in our mind as ordinary people. First, we can't see ourselves clearly. We never see our own mind clearly. Take happiness or unhappiness as an example. When we're happy, we easily fall into happiness. We're not clear. When we're not happy, we fall into emotions. We're not clear either. So it's called ignorance in Buddhism. Ignorance means not seeing clearly, because we can't see clearly and we're driven by these thoughts. We can't control ourselves. Nobody can control themselves. When your mind is restless, you want to rest a bit. Can you make it happen? When angry, can you stop it? Can you make it at will? We often can't. So we live very passively, facing our thoughts. We feel helpless. Yet, meditation is like lighting a lamp in our mind, lighting a lamp of wisdom, a lamp of observing and awakening. In each of our mind, we all have this light of wisdom. We now need to light it through meditation. Turn on the switch and light it. After lighting it, first, we can see clearly our thoughts as well as our mental activities. Meanwhile, we train our inner power of observation. With this observation, we start to have the ability to resolve our emotions so we can become the masters of our thoughts. In this observation, our emotions are like the waves of the sea. If the wind keeps blowing, the waves will grow bigger. But if the wind stops, the waves will gradually calm down by themselves. Our mind works the same. When we unlock the power of observation, the restless forces within the mind, desires, greed, and swirling emotions begin to gradually settle down. In this way, we gain the ability to rest. When our thoughts begin to settle, the mind finds rest. And when the mind is at rest, the body, too, can relax and recover. But if the mind can't rest, if it keeps moving, the body follows, always tense, always in motion. When our mind is able to calm down, we will find that many things are optional and we can actually rest. So meditation can help us gain the ability to rest. From being busy to living a relaxed life, a natural life, and a simple life. This is an ability. Resting is an ability. Living a simple life is also an ability. Even being able to enjoy nature is an ability. But people nowadays are losing them. We lost these abilities. That's why we become so exhausted. We become so tired. Everyone becomes so tired. So we need meditation to help us regain this ability. The third point I'd like to share with you all is that meditation or Chan can help us gain a peaceful mind. The world today is too noisy. We can feel that because our mind is restless. people have a restless, unsettled mind. So restlessness is also one of our society's major characteristics. Because of restlessness, every one of us is living in chaos. This restlessness and chaos bring to our world many noises and all kinds of pollution, such as sound and light pollution, and many more, making our mind unable to find peace. Our mind is restless. Firstly, because we lack a peaceful mind. Each of us has a very restless mind. In this restlessness, we constantly create various noises. Because of this restlessness, we have to keep ourselves busy every day. This busyness not only wastes our time, it also wastes our lives. And at the same time, it wastes resources. Because our mind is restless, we cultivate all kinds of demands. With more demands, we need to keep consuming. Yet, this kind of consumption is unnecessary for us. In fact, it's not just consuming the Earth's resources, but also our time, our life. We spend life in such restlessness and chaos, one life after another. So, we need to calm the restlessness in our mind. This is very important. For instance, different environments may impact us in different ways. For example, we may feel restless in the city, but if we spend time outdoors, taking a walk in nature, or occasionally visiting the great mountains, we'll feel the tranquility they offer. This tranquility is very powerful. It calms your mind and eases all the restlessness. Of course, for those of us living in the city, if we can't go to the mountains, we can simply look up at the sky more often. Even though city skies are often far from ideal, if we're lucky enough to see a clear blue sky, less touched by pollution, simply looking at the skies can help our mind become open, broad, and also peaceful. So all these external factors can help our mind calm down. They're very important supporting conditions. Our mind actually has two kinds of power. One is tranquility, the other is restlessness. The power of restlessness comes from our thoughts. When each of our thoughts is active, we feel the restlessness in our mind. When these thoughts calm down, we can feel the inner peace. When the thoughts in your mind calm down, all the restlessness calms down. Your life will present a high level of tranquility, an infinite tranquility. So, when we talk about Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, what kind of state are they in? Actually, their mind is in a state of deep tranquility. Take joy and happiness as an example. As ordinary people, our joy may come from a specific thing. It's an emotion. Our joy is an emotion related to a specific event. But the smile of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas is a whole-bodied smile, not because of any particular event, nor expressed through just one part of the body. Their joy radiates from every pore, from every part of their being. It is a joy that is pervasive and everlasting, because they have realized emptiness. In emptiness, tranquility and joy naturally flow continuously. The tranquility and joy are what Buddhism refers to as nirvana. Nirvana is perfect tranquility. Then, what is tranquility? When the restlessness in our mind calms down, the inner peace and joy will emerge. This tranquility is pervasive and overwhelming. Its power is very strong. Any restlessness can't disturb it. So we need to seek the inner peace. For us studying Buddhism, sometimes we need external supporting conditions. At our early stage of study, the environment is important, but a truly good practitioner also needs to train the mind in diverse environments, honing oneself in various complex situations to test and examine their practice. Anytime the external environment affects our mind, it actually means there's an emotion inside us that resonates with it. If our mind holds no such response, nothing that happens can disturb us. So the afflictions arise from our mind, and bodhi also arises from our mind. When we subdue the restlessness and afflictions, our mind naturally presents awakening, tranquility, and joy. They're innate in our mind as they're just veiled by ignorance and emotions. Our life enters into the cycle of rebirth, or samsara. So, this is the third point to share. Next, the fourth point, Chan can help us gain the ability of concentration. Concentration is very important for us modern people. What's the biggest trait of our mind now? If we use a term in Buddhism, it's called distraction. It means your various mental activities are scattered among various objects and emotions. In fact, our mind is like a zoo. You see, there are all kinds of animals in the zoo, big and small, fierce and gentle, cute and unlovable, or even annoying. Actually, the mind of ordinary people is like a zoo. That is to say, our mind is composed of various mental activities. These mental activities include our various thoughts and emotions. Besides negative emotions, we also have some positive and kind mindsets. Trapped in these thoughts, we can't control ourselves, especially for us today, because there are too many temptations. We've already developed a habit of distraction. You see, kids are playing computers and games. For our adults, we can't focus on doing things either. We can't stay with one thing for long. As for social media, like Weibo and WeChat, they indeed are very convenient for communication. They can also help us fully use the fragmented time. We feel very happy as if we don't waste any time at all. We are thrilled about it. But I find out when we learn to use fragmented time, we have also fragmented our entire blocks of time. People nowadays no longer have the ability to use a whole block of time to do one thing attentively. All our time is fragmented. This is distraction. Kids can't focus on their studies or homework with too many distractions and temptations. So we say, it's not easy to practice today. Why is it called the Dharma ending age? This Dharma ending age is mainly reflected in the extreme difficulty of spiritual practice. Why is practicing difficult? Because there are too many temptations. Unlike in the past, monasteries only need to close their gates to create a different world. Nowadays, no such closure can isolate us from the pervasiveness of media and information. Whatever you want to see in this vast world, It's right at your fingertips. Besides many temptations, many monasteries also lack proper practice support. So practicing becomes very difficult. What can we do then? If we're always distracted, our lives will remain fragmented forever. To put it bluntly, fragmentation is like mental clutter. We end up turning our lives, our valuable time and energy, into little bits and pieces, allowing various emotions and even harmful desires to consume our lives. Therefore, meditation is essentially about helping us cultivate our concentration and train our mind. As human beings, we possess a wide range of mental activities. We need to understand them. This understanding means knowing which of our mental activities are wholesome and which are negative, which mindsets will bring positive, meaningful impacts to our lives, and which will continually create suffering, trouble, and afflictions. This is actually what we can understand and learn. Just like buying stocks, you need to evaluate which stock is better. After buying it, you can make money. If you buy the wrong stock, you might lose everything. For every life, time is the most precious. Where do you invest the energy of your life? Now, our whole society talks about positive energy. What's positive energy? From a Buddhist perspective, a wholesome mind is positive energy. For example, someone who is full of kindness, selflessness, integrity, eager to help others, tolerant, egoless, all these embody positive energy. Conversely, being filled with negativity, pessimism, selfishness, hatred, these are negative mentalities. If we continually cultivate these negative mindsets, all of our life energy gets invested into these negative mental states. You might have just a little bit of hatred, yet you wager all of your life energy into this hatred. In the end, your life will be tightly gripped by this hatred. This hatred will occupy your entire being. Conversely, if we invest our energy into great compassion and love, then our mind will be filled with them. Wherever you go, you'll radiate compassion, selflessness, and great love. Wherever you go, you will bring love and compassion to others. As your compassion grows, your life will be uplifted. So, in meditation, is actually to help us choose positive mental states. For instance, cultivating the bodhicitta and compassion is about continuously thinking about their significance and value for our lives. Once we understand this, we then consciously nurture such mentalities. For instance, to generate the bodhicitta, we vow to benefit all sentient beings and help them be free from suffering and attain happiness. This becomes our mission and guiding direction throughout countless future lifetimes. Then we begin to cultivate this step by step. For instance, we start by developing empathy, that is, learning to put ourselves in others' shoes. We come to recognize that every being desires happiness and dislikes suffering. They're just like me, so I can't only consider myself. I must also consider others. When you engage in such reflections daily, the continuous reflections will keep your compassion growing. So, every mindset can be cultivated. If we spend every day thinking everyone in this world is hateful, we will end up feeling so. We'll get angry at everything daily. This way, our anger will grow stronger and stronger. So, every mindset can be cultivated as it arises from conditions. As we cultivate these mindsets, they will continue to grow. Positive mindsets can be cultivated. Negative emotions can also be cultivated. Now, do you wish to fill your life with positive energy or with negative emotions? You must think carefully about this. Surely, we all hope for positive energy. We hope to possess strong, wholesome thoughts. We want to have powerful, good intentions within. When we say a person has a strong mind, it is not always a good thing. Because if your hatred or anxiety is strong, then it becomes a problem. If your positive mindsets are strong, then in your daily life, these positive mindsets will bring you happiness. What you radiate will bring happiness to others. Through meditation, we aim to cultivate and help us choose the positive mindsets. And also, through the practice of vipassana, we work to calm our negative emotions, to clear the garbage in our mind, to pacify our inner negative emotions, while allowing our positive mindsets to grow. So our lives will become purer, more noble, more wise, and more compassionate. This kind of mindset and character will not only bring us endless benefits in this lifetime, but also bring us endless benefits in future lifetimes. It will benefit not only ourselves, but also all sentient beings in the world. When everyone sees me, I hope to bring them happiness. Meanwhile, I will radiate compassion and love. When anyone interacts with us, they will benefit rather than suffer. Thus, the cultivation of this positive strength and mentality requires the practices of shamatha and vipassana. That is, through shamatha and vipassana meditation. This event is just the beginning, an introduction to the wisdom of Chan. In today's era, we especially need the wisdom of Chan. The wisdom of Chan not only helps us calm inner restlessness, but also allow us to live a relaxed life. It also helps us to transcend worldly concerns and to attain freedom in life. When we talk about freedom, it is not just about external freedom, but more importantly, freedom of the mind. Chan can help us achieve freedom of the mind and find the meaning of life. Nowadays, many people live in confusion because they cannot clearly see the truth of life. Thus, many people go through life with a sense of confusion or even a feeling that life is absurd. They cannot see where the meaning of life lies. But the wisdom of Chan can help us rediscover our true mind and uncover the original face of our life. It can help us find the true meaning of life. So I think the wisdom of Chan is especially important for us today. Since we have several more events coming up, this talk will conclude here.